And just like they did a year ago, as we get into Clubhouse.
No Maverick this game. Okay. Is there also going to be no Thatcher? That is my next question. No Ying. Okay, so Thatcher is still left in for this one, right? That means that you have the mini games that need to be played on the wall, the breach and the anti-hard breach with the Thatcher trying to play the tricking game. You've also got mini EMPs to assist that. The moment that I say that, of course, Bandit does get banned out. So really the only anti-hard breach I need to worry about now is that KE tricking game, which is often a little bit more tricky for the defense, as well as the mute jammers, which can be pretty pesky for the attack. Oh, no way, and Kane's banned out too. Damn.
Wow, there's not going to be a lot of wall denial here. It's going to be just the mute, essentially, and mute, since they changed the radius of how that works, it's not quite as good. So perhaps you won't even need to run a Thatcher, Mandy.
Yeah, walls are going to be open. So that's why I anticipate Liquid are going to start us out on that defense in the basement, because playing the top floor bomb sites, like playing your CCTV, right, or playing your jacuzzi wall, those are going to get open pretty much straight away. There's not a whole lot that is going to protect that top floor, and so they're looking for something a little bit more bunkered down here in the ground to basement.
Now, Team Liquid, as we've said before, have not lost a best-of-3 to FaZe in over 2 years, but they also haven't played this map of Clubhouse at all in Stage 3, Mandy. This is Team Liquid's most banned map, and so it is quite literally a dark horse, pun intended. FaZe Clan, on the other hand, have played this map quite a few times, 3 in fact, and they've won it more than they've lost it, so it's not one that they're unfamiliar with. They did take down Mirage very convincingly 7-2 on this map earlier in the group stage at this event. However, fell to the Wolves 4-7 as well. So FaZe are not perfect here, and Team Liquid will likely be looking at that very recent form and starting to adapt to some of the strategies that FaZe have revealed earlier in the group stage.
I think this is a great approach immediately off the back from Liquid. You don't want to just sit in the site and play whatever utility you have there, because there's no KE to protect your hatches, there's no Bandit to protect your walls, and there's Thatcher on the board, all the hard breaches on the board. If you just sit on the site and wait, you're going to be choked out. So what they're looking for here is this super extended roam through all 3 floors of the map. They've already pre-opened the Moto hatch as their fall-off as well through bar, but FaZe are looking to hit the site early.
Oh my god, Bullet! He does not give a damn. He's walked all the way down into blue and has died. Ask easily takes him down, but there is a trade here from Cyber. And now Liquid are like, hang on a second. FaZe Clan have just taken control of the site away from us. However, Liquid have managed to maintain control of the man advantage. It's now a 3 versus 4 as Liquid are on for this retake. Cyber to confirm that diffuser. And at the drop of a hat, FaZe Clan have to hold on.
Souls is there for the cover, but not for long, as Reset is able to collect him. Nesk for a second onto Cyber. Astro now in the 1-on-4, turns it into the 1-on-3. With hatch control, can make it the 1-on-2. Dangerous now for Liquid. The retake is there. Resets can confirm it. 22 seconds left to defuse, and Liquid claim another round.
Wow. Gusto from FaZe has got to be appreciated in that round. They went quick, they were determined, they got into that site, they put that diffuser down, but Team Liquid are not to be fooled so easily. They maintained their composure, and on that retake, even in that 4v1 turned down to a 2v1, they didn't let up. They made sure that there was no clutch potential there from Astro, and they made sure to put him down. A good start here from Team Liquid, though a valiant first round from FaZe.
Nice retake from Liquid, very impressive from them. Whenever you play an extended roam like that, the worry is, what if they go for a rush? What if they do hit the bomb site? You need to have your contingency plan and your fall-off plan ready for that. And that was the genius in Ask's rotation, which came back down through Oil to take down the player in blue. That was the genius in Palu inside of Bar to immediately contest that kitchen hatch early, that type of thing, right? It's Liquid preemptively seeing that situation and having the right routing to retake the bomb site.
Now for Liquid, it looks like we will move over to Cash and CCTV with a bit of an extension, reinforcing. Okay, this is strange. Thank you for pointing this out, Pietro. We actually don't have any reinforcements on the garage walls, and instead the reinforcements have gone out on the jacuzzi walls for the roam. This is a really strange one for me, Mandy. With that Bandit and the Kaid banned out, feels really hard to defend this bomb site in a traditional way. And so it seems like Liquid is actually quite significantly changing their strategy away from what you would usually see.
I think it's good because if FaZe want to go for a con-sided push, it forces them to use some hard breach on the jacuzzi wall as a point of entry. You kind of don't really want to be entering in through anywhere else. Logi hatch is kind of okay, but jumping in through gym, just generally being on that balcony can be pretty dangerous. So it's good that they're dedicating some of that reinforcements over onto the other side, but I won't want to read into it too hard. Souls is going to be able to get this exothermic charge on the wall nice and easy. Remember, there is no anti-hard breach aside from the mute, which is right in the center of that wall, but it can be countered pretty easily by Souls being on the rappel.
He actually hasn't successfully detonated that charge as of yet, but Liquid have started to lose a bit of map control. FaZe has made their in to master. Lagonis holding on a cheeky position. Oh, here we go, Souls. He's actually kind of struggling to get this exothermic in a spot where it's not going to be exposed to that mute jammer. He does eventually do so, but I believe that will be a vault hole, not a sprintable one.
So it should be a sprintable one because he's done it not upside down. But when you put the exothermic charge on the wall facing up, it actually detonates the bottom part too. So even if you get it on the top of the wall above the mute jammer, it should still be a running hole. Bullet is going to come in from below with a grenade to try and connect it onto that shield just at the back of the green box. That's Palu on the other side. Should be afraid of his life. Bullet still with that nade in hand does connect it onto the shield, but not onto Palu.
Yeah, very fortunate timing there from Palu. He moved away when the first nade came out, and that meant he survived the second nade, which was well placed for his position. FaZe kind of made good progress here, starting to whittle away at this defensive side. And it looks like the secondary hard breach from the Capitao will go out on this construction wall into Cash as Bullets found the opener. And this looks so uncomfortable for Team Liquid. How are you meant to hold on to this bomb site? The only thing I can imagine is an impactful flank here from Resets on the Valkyrie. It's got to be, but he has been droned out multiple times. Shoots those drones, and that forces FaZe to slows down a little bit.
FaZe as well being stalled a little bit by those smoke canisters, preventing them from making the rush into that Cash side. Astro's going to go in deep and look for that plant. Not denied yet by any Liquid players.
Oh, and it looks like it will go down successfully as trades continue back and forth. It's a 3v3 now as Bullet makes his way up the stairs, but Nesk takes him down. A glorified 2v2 as Lagonis lies on the ground. But what are you doing, Astro? You've just given away a free kill and forced Cameraman now to post-plant. Surely this couldn't be yet another retake from Team Liquid. They've got time to work with. They now have all three of their players up as well. And beautiful Kiba barrier from Cameraman. He's now desperately going to try and hold on, but Ask is there to vault through the hole as Lagonis secures that diffuser. And Team Liquid are 2 for 2 on the retakes this game.
Once again, like you said, super impressive on the retakes are Liquid. That was such a claustrophobic defense. As soon as all those walls got open, they got forced out of their power positions inside a Cache. They could no longer play in server because the main breach was open. It just felt like Liquid completely let go of the bomb site. But it was really that flank that came up the main stairs that was the main disruptor of that attack. As soon as FaZe had to fight back for that logistics control, the attack was very disconnected. And as the execute came through, we saw Astro in a bit of an odd position. Unfortunate fight on the top of red stairs, and Liquid make good work of that flank and the red stairs re-control that they were able to gain and clean up the round.
I gotta admit, Mandy, I do not think that that Cache bomb site is very powerful when okay, there's a couple of factors involved. One, the Azami, since she's been brought in, she can make that Cache site a little bit more powerful, especially when the Thatcher or the Maverick is banned. But when you've got Bandit and Bandit and Kaid banned out, it's so much more difficult to defend that site. So I'm very surprised and impressed that Team Liquid was able to do such a good job of it. And the fact that they've done that now means that, I mean, they could even go a 5-1 half in this round without having to successfully defend Cache again.
Liquid, though, are going to go over to this gym and bedroom bomb site. What are FaZe going to look for here? Because getting these walls open, not a problem, right? It's about setting up for the mid to late round that comes after that, because Liquid have been pretty disciplined on this retake. Like you said, has been their strength in this series so far. Palu is looking for control inside of dirt, maybe looking for a little cheeky spawn peek, meleeing open that wall and denying the jacuzzi breach for a little bit later on. The first exothermic charge is going to go down on that construction wall, and that's cutting the defense in half. The roamers are now stuck on that east side of the building unless they rotate in through the ground floor.
It's the dream of a hard breacher, right? When you've got the Bandit and the Kaid ban, it's just so easy for Souls to open up just about anything he could possibly want. And there goes Jacuzzi as well.
Not bad from FaZe, but like I said, it's going to be about that mid to late round. We already know that they were going to be given this control. Liquid know that they are going to be given this control, and so that's why they're not retaking in through con just yet. They don't want to be giving away their lives because these walls are going to stay open and they're going to cut the defense in half. They're just being very disciplined, holding on to the real estate that they have.
And Resets on the Azami is doing such a good job of patching up this site, making some powerful positions for him to play behind, which is especially important as those windows on the balcony come into power in tandem with that breach on the Jacuzzi side. Lagonis really worried. He knows that FaZe are not afraid of just moving at any moment. He does find the opener, Resets to try and support. It's actually Lagonis again for a double, a triple for Lagonis. Cameraman doesn't last very long at all, and Team Liquid have just swiftly swept 3 rounds of defense in a row.
Once again, Liquid finding great timing on the positions that they're retaking. They know that FaZe are going to swarm in through the breach, right? So Resets is, he could sit in gym if he wanted to, right? He could sit in bathroom if he wanted to, but he knows that he's Azami, and he knows that he has Lagonis at the top of main stairs inside of Logi. That could go for the retake in tandem with him when that comes through. And that's just such great teamwork on the side of the Liquid players to find the right timing as the chaos of the execute is happening. You don't normally have super clear comms if you're on the side of the attack, right? You're just going for it. Everyone's kind of screaming at each other, calling out what they're trying to do. And the defense was ready for that. And that's the strength in Liquid this entire series.
I'm getting a bit of deja vu from the first series, Mandy. Team Liquid started really strong, but to be honest, it wasn't even quite this strong. They went 3-1 up, but they were never 3-0. How much further can Team Liquid further this advantage? Really, at this point, Mandy, it just feels inevitable. FaZe Clan have not been able to stack up here today. They've been such a good team all year long, and last year as well, winning their first major here in Sweden, in Gävle. In Berlin, they were the runners-up. They were so fearless. They were within one single round of taking down Rogue and claiming a second championship at a major, which no team has ever done before. And yet here, they seem toothless, Mandy.
It just feels like the FaZe Clan formula of probing the entire map and seeing what mistakes you can capitalize just isn't working against Team Liquid because all of the players have been super disciplined, especially the roamers. We're going back to this basement bomb site. Liquid are going to do the full world tour. We've already got Resets holding on to those blue stairs, but there's again a change in philosophy from Liquid. They're not looking for that full 3-floored roam anymore. It's more site-centric.
But this clear has been quite effective, particularly thanks to that IQ. I quite like the way that Cyber has been able to find out those Valkyrie cameras. He's so vigilant with it as well. I see sometimes players will bring it out just for a moment, check, think, oh, okay, there's nothing there. They won't keep looking, but there's so much util. There's so much value in the util from those Valkyrie cameras that if they can be suppressed, it will aid FaZe significantly.
Okay, so what scares me about FaZe is that they have brought the Capitao, and I imagine that they are going to lean into some of those smoke and fire bolts for the execute. But we have Ask on the other side, who's playing Warden. So if Ask can read into the push that FaZe are trying to do and put himself in a nice spot early, I imagine if they go for a triple take, you want Ask to be playing in that blue spot or to be playing behind the bomb chassis or something like that. If they get a read on it quickly, I'm a little worried for FaZe in the concept of the execute they're trying to go for.
Loading new mag.
I wonder if it will be a triple take. We are seeing the Hibana of Souls rotate over there now. Hasn't yet opened the kitchen hatch, I do not believe. Off goes a secondary EMP from Astro. He's going to have to toss another one to make sure it is going to enable those X-Kairos to detonate. But a C4's gone out the other way, and I believe Impacts as well. Which means that Souls has now used all of his X-Kairos, and it could not be easier for Nest to trick that. A single tiny hole has been added. And if anything, this really just favors Team Liquid.
So that cuts triple take out of the push for FaZe. They need to go for something else, but with only 40 seconds left to do it. A couple players pivoting over to that blue-sided take, while the rest of them are a little bit stuck on these main stairs.
Oh, no.
There is no kitchen hatch open, remember, so it's going to be a flood, a funnel from FaZe. Liquid have got a good hold of this round.
Astro looking to make his move in tandem with Cyber, but Cyber cannot quite get the angle, and it's a huge play from Resets. Cameraman has dropped into blue, but he's completely shut down It's all up to Bullet and Souls now, desperately walking up through the hallway. The Hibana cannot do a damn thing. Palu cleans up the final 2 kills, and Team Liquid have won 4 rounds in a row on the map, and that makes 7 rounds in a row on the series.
Liquid are on fire at the moment, aren't they? They're just so in this game. They're so disciplined. Even though they're getting round after round after round, they're not getting cocky about their pushes. They could have easily been like, all right, there's no time. Let's look for these swings now, boys. They didn't do any of that. They sat there on the site knowing that FaZe are running out of options. This is the perfect time for FaZe to take their tactical timeout. They need to change something, whether it's something in the mental game, something in the macro game, because hard breach is super accessible to them, right? They are on their attacking half right now, cutting down the site, very accessible to them too, but they haven't been able to capitalize on the late rounds. There in that last one, they just simply didn't have enough options for their execute. They could not get triple O open, they didn't have kitchen hatch open, they could only go for Moto and blue, and that's not going to work out because you've got Astro in the back of AKs with Warden on 1.5 times, literally watching the hatch drop. So it just feels like FaZe need to make better use of the tools that they've been given on the attack, cut down the defense, but they need to anticipate that Liquid will be ready for the retake. This is a perfect time to take their tactical timeout to talk about that.
Well, that's exactly what they've done. A quick tactical timeout for FaZe. And on the back of it, the Monty makes his first appearance in this game. I believe this series, we didn't actually see a Monty in map 1, did we? We saw it in 1 round, I think. And it did work, believe it or not. I'm just bringing it up right now. FaZe Clan brought the Monty just the 1 time, and they did win that kitchen dining attack back on Villa. Could this be a key point of difference for FaZe Clan?
Looking for this defense over on the other side of the jacuzzi and master bedroom side of the map. Of course, the bomb site is CCTV and cache, but they do want to put some of that pressure over on the other side. Now, last time FaZe attacked this, they did go for a con-sided take, and it worked out pretty successfully. It didn't work out very successfully because Liquid were able to go for the retake, even though they got their way into the bomb site, right? So Liquid looking to contest a little bit earlier. They've even reinforced off some of logistics to try and prevent that push from coming through.
All right, well, let's see if FaZe can change things up. Stem the bleeding. If you include last map, it's been 7 rounds in a row for Liquid here. Where is FaZe? I want to see what the plan is with this Montaigne. Something a little bit different, something a little bit cheeky, something frustrating for Team Liquid to deal with.
Typically, teams will use this Monty to try and clear out the garage positions. Souls, once again, getting a nice, easy breach onto that kennel's wall. Cyber as well will try and make use of some of these windows, peeking his way into server and into rafters. Just looking to see if Liquid players make a mistake in their positioning. This is one of those games where, because so much stuff is being opened, the defense is quite claustrophobic. Liquid need to not move too far or too much, otherwise they're going to be taken down from a long line of sight.
Well, let's open up some avenues into garage as well. And it seems like FaZe will be going for that garage take with the Monty to help flush out this power position where Ask on the Azami is currently holding for Liquid. He hasn't really used too many of his Kiba barriers on that rafters itself. Instead, he's used them to lock out that Montaigne.
So he hasn't used the key barriers on himself, but he's actually used it to create a new power position for Nesk, who's also aiding him in rafters. He's blocked off that window that can be killed from the breach.
Oh no!
In that power position. Even though he's been taken down, Nesk is there for the trade in his position and can reclaim that rafters 2 spot.
Yeah, and with that, Team Liquid have that man advantage. It was a nice play there from FaZe, but it didn't work out. However, great use of the incendiary from the Capitao to force Nesk out of position, and then a quick headshot from Cameraman. Resets on for this flank down below. Will FaZe Clan keep tabs on him? Will they be able to hunt him down, make sure that he doesn't get into the fight?
It's a 3-on-3. This is FaZe's best chance to lock out this round. FaZe are a team that is great at problem solving. They are great in these 3-on-3 situations and trying to make use of the tools that they have. The danger in this is that there are 3 C4s on the board at the moment. So even if they go for the default plant, they need to, 1, worry about a lineup from the side of green, and another one, worry about resets. He's just about to pre-place a C4 in the default plant.
But Cameraman's gone deep and he's found a headshot onto Palu, trading back his teammate. That C4 on the default plant, not able to be effectual. Souls with the pistol to cover now. It's all up to Legolas in the 1v2, and the trade immediately there from cameraman, faking that diffuser was the right call. And FaZe Clan finally get their first round.
That was a great flood from FaZe. That was exactly the execute they needed to go for against the lineup that they were against. Like we saw earlier, Resets, he put a C4 on that default plant. There were 2 more C4s that could have denied the default plan as well. And so going in for something basic like that, trying to get the bomb down in your regular spot, it's never going to work. That 3-man flood that they went for was a perfect read in that late game, and finally nets FaZe Clan around.
Very close for comfort though, Mandy. Team Liquid have been keeping this map in the back pocket for such a long time. And that is what has really helped them today, I think. The fact that this map, it's not one that people see them play. I'm actually going to do some numbers right now. The last time that Team Liquid played Clubhouse was a 7-2 loss back in July to W7M. Team Liquid have been hiding this map ever since then. They must have realized, okay, look, this is not one of our primary maps. We're not going to be prioritizing getting that in right now. Instead, we will work on it in secret. And now they've brought it out. It was their map pick here in the series. And while FaZe has fought back, they're having to adapt really quickly to all of this new stuff that Team Liquid has brought to the table.
I'm going to preface that maybe this is me calling it too early, but it's quite uncharacteristic the way that FaZe played that last round. You don't normally see FaZe as a team of 5-man do like a 5-man take in the way that they did. You normally see FaZe, they've got 1 or 2 players that are sort of off on their own, almost all their players even looking for a sort of a probe attack. That's quite uncharacteristic of them to be able to achieve that last round attack that they're able to do. I'm very impressed by the way that they're able to shape up their playstyle. Now they're looking for an attack onto Gym and Bedroom. We can see the pressure immediately coming in from that Jacuzzi side, aided by Bullet and Cyber down below. They're the 2 operators with the vertical grenades, and Palu might be able to find a player in that basement. Bring around the Rosie with Palu on the other side. He's aware and takes down Bullet.
Huge pick there for Palu. I don't think Bullet even intended to fall down into the basement, but he loses his life regardless. Now a great nade. Oh, it lands perfectly onto Resets. Cyber, a huge play. Now Astro has this fantastic position, moving in, putting that pressure onto the Jacuzzi as that beeper starts to ring out. Team Liquid, they might have the numbers equality, but they've got so much to worry about on site.
Like you said, Astro, he was in a good position, but the problem with that is that he can't actually get into Gym because there's a keeper barrier, a 1-way keeper barrier that's preventing the Monty from walking in because he's too fat. So he needs the help of some of his teammates to get on those explosives, clear out that keeper barrier so he can go for the Jacuzzi execute.
Cyber's made his way to the top of the stairs. The Monty to check Palu's position. Palu trying his best, but Cyber from the behind does take him down. Ask and Nest now the last 2, but that's a big play from Ask to get the injury onto the player on the balcony. It's now Astro in a 1v2 on this Monty as Souls has been taken down, but the Monty might be enough. Nesk hiding back in construction, and Astro will go for this revive. Nest knows this is his best chance to try and win the round, but it's a bait from the Monty, doesn't matter! Team Liquid with the playmaker go up 5-1 on their defensive half.
Oh, that was such a tricky mid-round for FaZe. They had a great early round control going on there. They got the Jacuzzi wall open early, and they had their 2 players convened right below that was starting to choke out the anchors with those grenades. But what happened was, in that mid-round, Monty couldn't go for the execute that he wanted to go for. And so he tried to go for this sort of roundabout push through the top of main stairs, and that gave enough time for Liquid to retake into the bomb site, to play that 1-way keeper barrier inside of Gym, to go back into bathroom, hold on to con control, that's what Nesk was doing, and enable those plays like that as FaZe were a bit stuck really in the mid-round. They had nowhere to go because they couldn't get their Monty in.
Mandy, how do FaZe come back from this? They've used their tactical timeout and only managed to win a round in a 1v1. Now they move on to their defense. In theory, this should be the favored side, but it was FaZe Clan that chose to start on the attack. Team Liquid picked this map, which means FaZe Clan got their choice of where to start. They took a risk by choosing to start on that attacking side, and it didn't pay off. Now they have to show that they can come back on this defensive side, which, according to my reckoning, they are incredibly good at. They've won 69% of their defenses on this map the last 3 times they've played it. Can they ring true here and start to build some momentum back?
FaZe looking similarly for a 3-floored roam. Not quite as intense as the one that Liquid went for, but still something. We've got a mirror here inside of bathroom that's preventing the entry to come in from Jacuzzi, but there's actually no FaZe players there. It's simply there as perceived pressure for Liquid. It's forcing them to drown out this top to ground floor and just double check that there are in fact no FaZe players around.
Nesk is the first one in the building. Right upstairs, drone ahead of him. 2 drones ahead of him, in fact. Some drone denial. But it looks like 4 of those FaZe players, all 5, are actually retreated back to site really early.
It makes sense, right? It's just perceived pressure that they put for that top floor. They don't want to give away their lives on the roam clear because a lot of that utility they have in their hands is actually pretty good for the late round as well, right? We have Cyber, who's generating those Wamai discs. We still have 1 mirror that's being used on the site. As well as that, we've got the Keeper barriers, which Bullet can use to architect the bomb site depending on the push that Liquid are going for. I think they've realized now that the entire map has essentially been given to them, and they can start to work through this mid-round Liquid. We've already got the blue hatch getting opened, and some vertical can be made quick use of by Palu.
It is a strange call for me, for FaZe to not even try and roam, not even try and shoot drones. To me, it signals that they are playing scared. And while, yes, they have some good setup on site, Team Liquid have so much time to deal with it, and so many tools as well. I wonder, will this kitchen hatch be a priority? It looks like Ask is rotating over toward it now with the Hibana. But with both the Moto and the blue hatch already open, still a Selma remaining for Dirt if that's not open, or the triple wall. There's so many options for Liquid.
So the next minigame to be played is going to be this kitchen hatch. Now, 2 of those X-Kairos have gone off. An impact trick attempt is coming out from the Azami, but it only clears 1 more X-Kairos. He still has some in the hands, and he can just simply put that on. There are no more impacts left to deal with that, except on Cyber, who's residing inside of blue. He's not going to be able to stop that.
Yeah, so that kitchen hatch will be open. I mean, it's pretty hard to counter the Hibana when you just put 2 on at a time. You're going to need a lot of impacts in order to deny that. What is the play from Liquid? 25 seconds remaining. A lot of options, but where will they commit? No one in kitchen at the moment. The drop in through the memo hatch. It's 2 players. Lagonas with that diffuser. Astro on the other side with the shotgun. It's resets to find the opening. Ars takes down Astro. He doesn't care at all. Nesk on for the backstab. Caught on that mirror window, but it might not matter. Souls is going to have to do a hell of a lot to keep FaZe in the game, but he's been taken down. It is all up to cameraman. 1v3 becomes a 1v2 as he hears the telltale ringing of that AK-12. It doesn't matter what he's gonna do because Lagonas is there and Team Liquid up 6-1 and on series point.
Fantastic push from Liquid. Like you said, they opened up all of their options. And what that meant for FaZe was that they couldn't get a read onto exactly what execute that Liquid were going to go for. It looked like it was going to be a kitchen hatch drop, especially from the way that they ended up setting it up. What Liquid ended up doing was going for a blue and Moto rush. They even had the diffuser, I believe, that came down that Moto hatch later on to execute into Church. The only things they had to deal with there was 1 Keeper barrier that was just inside on that table, but because they had the numbers to flood their way and they fully committed to only 2 spots of entry, there was a lot of redundancy in their plan as they went for that flood. It was messy, yes. They knew that they were going to go down for it. They knew that they were going to fight for it, but because they had all 5 of their players committed to doing only those 2 rooms of control, it was enough redundancy to get their way into the site.
Mandy, how did we end up here? Look at the scoreline. It's 6-1 on the second map. After an incredibly tight 8-6 overtime where FaZe looked to be the favored team and Liquid just barely pulled that rug out from under them. We go on to map 2, Team Liquid's dark horse pick of Clubhouse, and they are dominating FaZe Clan.
It's impressive, it really is. Ever since Liquid took their tactical timeout in the map 1, that was the turning point for them. Whether it was a turning point in the mental, it was also a turning point in the playstyle. The momentum has carried through onto this map. FaZe look out of sync. They look disconnected. They're no longer a step ahead of Liquid. Now Liquid will start to mount their attack onto the bar and stage bomb side. Uncharacteristic, tertiary from FaZe, but they feel like they need to try something new.
In the last 10 rounds of this match, Team Liquid have won 9. And FaZe have only won a single round. And that was in a 1v1 after a tactical timeout. They've gone to bar stage. It's a huge risk, but they can't delay, they can't hold back, and they can't afford to make any more mistakes.
Liquid looking for what is a pretty linear attack so far onto the bar and stage. They've already got this strip club wall open. The next step is making sure that there are no FaZe players that are able to make use of this vertical pressure. Whether it's going to be the gym hatch or inside of Master itself, playing those vertical lines of sight so that Lagonis can rotate back down and go for that plant. Some Selmas are going to be dedicated to clearing some of those castle barricades, but there's still a keeper barricade set up here inside of gym that is helping these FaZe players maneuver through the top floor.
Neska's found the opener, cameraman's down. Astro has been trying so hard. He's been that flex player going onto that Monty, calling what FaZe might need to spice up their game. And he feels that pressure on his shoulders as he holds upstairs now. Bullet though, he's taken down Nesk. A belated trade, but one nonetheless.
This is very, very tough entry for Liquid. They need to sweep through this top floor. Otherwise, Astro, he can simply play this vertical. He can hold on to that gym hatch. He can deny the entry into the site or play any vertical lines of sight they may have here. Liquid, what are you going to do now? Are you going to keep clearing through that top floor, or is it going to be a change of plan?
Breaching the keeper barrier now, and perfect read from Resets. Cyber, he's read like a book, but the trade is on. Astro holding his position firmly. Ask feeling like he's not going to drop that hatch. As Palu starts to poke and prod on the site, he doesn't go down to the spray from Souls, fortunately, and Lagonis decides to just send it. Team Liquid throw out all the stops. Ask just barely seeing the player. Headshot with the pistol. It's all on Bullet. And he will go down with just a single bullet in the 1v2 now. To save the map, to save their major.
15 seconds left.
FaZe will rely on this one player. He holds above, but what a nade! Team Liquid, the Italian, Brazilian Stallions, they get a huge win over FaZe Clan. And with that, they will go to the semifinals.
And who else to close out that game but Palu, the man himself, the head, the voice of Team Liquid. Closing it out with a grenade through the floor, and FaZe, they go down so easily.
What an anti-climax for FaZe. After starting so flawlessly in the group stage, they looked like they might be returning to their major championship. Sweden was all theirs last year, but this time around, it's no shot. It's all for Team Liquid. And so far, this major bracket has been a full repeat of the Copa Elite 6. W7M taking down Black Dragons, and Team Liquid with a far more dominant